Good morning, good people, fellow humans. And as always, at HUEMONDS, colorful nuts. That's a good way to think about us. Not as filthy rags. Colorful nuts, scurrying around, trying to figure out where the witch is in a dark room, etc. So here we are. It's Monday, September 15th. The month is halfway over. Good morning. What not a bevy? What a bevy. Good morning. How are things in Fort Jacks? This is day 1 in week 2 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. The last cooling down. Yep, it's cooling down here too. Still dark outside. Had a very nice dinner with Lucy and Brandon last night. Very enjoyable birthday dinner for me. Lucy's taking her teaching exam this week, so that's good. Getting ready for the 27th. And yeah, as they say, and yeah. Okay, so here we are. Day 1 of week 2, neuroscience-oriented approach to success. Inside my skull-sized kingdom, or on our metaphor of the adventure, life is an adventure at sea. This is the week we build the boat. We build the boat for our journey. The boat needs to be big enough to have a wonderful adventure, but the bigger the boat, the more skill we need to captain it, and we need a crew, and the bigger the crew. The bigger the crew, the more complex it is dealing with members of the crew. So this week is to prepare us for that. Since we know how our brains work, and we know how to dial it in, well, this is the week we learn how our brains work. Last week we learned it's important to know how your brain works so you can dial it in. This week we're going to learn how to dial it in. We start today with the connectome, that is the connections between the neurons in our brain. Tomorrow we go to neurotransmitters, the chemicals that are released in our brain that are responsible for our feelings. Wednesday we talk about the reticular activating system portion of our brain, top of our brain stem, that acts like a filter that's constantly scanning all information available to us to support our beliefs. And remember, our self-image is made up of nothing more than our self-beliefs. So you change your self-belief, you change your self-image. The problem with that is what? Habits. Unconscious behavior. So consciously you can say, yes, smoking is bad. Or for me, eating oatmeal raisin cookies equal bad. No oatmeal raisin cookie. I can say that. And as long as I'm consciously holding down the spring, not going to have the oatmeal raisin cookie, it works. But the second I think about something else, my attention focuses on that. Unconsciously, I grab the cookie, and the cookie is going down. So we got to change our unconscious behavior, not just our conscious awareness, not just our self-belief. All right, so we're going to learn how to do that this week. Our themo for today is inside my skull-sized kingdom. Why do we say that? Well, we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's look at the advice from an 80-year-old. Count your blessings. Yeah, that's a good one. And that goes up to our, in our worksheet, our 2-part daily routine, the 4-part non-podcast part, preparation, breathing exercise. Next, attitude of gratitude. Count your blessings. Have an attitude of gratitude. Say, I'm so happy and grateful now that what? Or you could ask your brain the question, what am I so happy and grateful for right now? Close your eyes, think about that, and you'll start coming up with things that you're grateful for. Always count your blessings, always look on the bright side. Right. 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 Okay. So let's see what else we got here. Seth Godin, new post. There's a button in WordPress that initiates a new post and another that publishes it. That's a clear and practical metaphor for what we do all day, every day. The post of our action or inaction might seem trivial, but it's a post nonetheless. Layer by layer, actions and interactions leave a trail behind. When we post with intention, we create a pattern that begins to create a structure and a narrative we're pleased with. That doesn't sound like me is a useful way to stay on track. What are your planned posts for today? Right. Always be posting. A, B, C. A, always B, B, C, posting. Always be posting. Right. Well, we have another water leak at Pratt. Fortunately, it was discovered by Nikki. Real act of heroism. And then the remediation company came up and got everything set up to save the house. Save the house. It's probably these rats. Got to get the exterminator out there. So I'll have to call on that. Yeah. Okay, but back to our mission for today. We're here for our students and interested people. Our purpose is to help them on their journey through this life based upon the belief that we have a soul that continues after death, that we are not just atoms in the void. And I think for everybody, that should be a decision you need to make. Am I going to live my life such that we are just atoms in the void? When I'm dead? Or am I going to live my life such that we have a soul that does not end with death? That when we shuffle this mortal coil, when our body is no longer good, our soul, our spirit continues on. I think everybody needs to, well, you don't need to, but everybody should choose one of those two paths and then go down the path. There's too many people who say, I believe that we are spiritual, but I'm going to act like this is a one-shot deal. You only live once. I'm going to live like you only live once. I'm going to hold on to that because that's the fun. I'm going to hold on to that, but I'm going to profess I believe that I have an eternal soul. But really, if you have an eternal soul, what you want to do is fight the good fight, do what you need to do on as long as you can here, run the race, do your best, always do your best. ABC, always do your best. Always do your best. And that when you shuffle this mortal coil, you are going to be slingshotted to the next, whatever's next. And if you believe in the gospel, if you believe in Jesus, as I do, he says, if you follow my commandments, you will become one with the Father and I. Okay, who knows what that means, but it seems pretty good to me. Seems like a pretty good idea. He says, otherwise, you get to go to the lake of fire, which to me would mean you return to pure energy. Just pure energy, non-conscious, pure connected. Okay, looks like we're back. But is anybody there? Is anybody listening? Okay, so buffering, right. All right, so anyway, for our students and other interested people, At some point, you should make a decision. I'm going to